In Mexico, Lucha Libre, homegrown professional wrestling, is widely popular. Luchadores are superstars, macho, menacing masters of the ring. Well, enter Cassandro, a flamboyantly gay wrestler who takes the sport by storm. Cassandro, whose real name is Saul Armendariz, takes on the role of an exotico, a character who performs in drag. In doing so, the Liberace of Lucha Libre rises to international stardom, breaking cultural taboos every step of the way. Since bursting on the scene 2 decades ago with back-to-back breakout roles in Amores Perros y Tu Mama Tambien, actor Gael Garcia Bernal has racked up a long list of leading roles. I spoke with Bernal in New York about capturing the athleticism and the complex inner life of Cassandro in a new film for Amazon Prime. Gael, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
The movie, Cassandro, I learned so much. First, tell us about the world of Lucha Libre.
Yeah, well, Lucha Libre became a phenomenon in Mexico in the 20th century, but it goes back to the 19th century. So I grew up with a kind of a revamping of the Lucha Libre because it started to get televised again in Mexico. And when I was a kid, I grew up with Atlantis, Octagon, El Hijo del Santo, El Rayo de Jalisco, El Perro Aguayo, like these amazing wrestlers. And I used to love watching that, watching the Lucha Libre, yeah.
So we learned about Lucha Libre, and we learned another element, the exotico element.
Yeah.
Walk us through that.
The exóticos have been there for a long, long time, but it was in the 90s that Cassandro and as well as Pimpinel and Rudy Reina and other exóticos, they kind of subverted or accompanied, or were the catalysts of a change that already society was going through, that made kind of incorporated the exóticos into the main sort of the main titles of the Lucha Libre, and so they started to win. They started to become like very prominent, and people started to love watching the exóticos wrestle.
And they were cheering for them. I mean, these were the people that people were hoping to win
as well.
and were aiming for. And your character at the beginning, El Topo, the mole, right?
Yeah.
How does he evolve into Cassandro?
Well, that's something that all wrestlers go through, and maybe it's like a little bit like Pirandello's, like play about characters finding themselves, because all wrestlers start out with a kind of a concept, they play it out, and most of the time it doesn't work at the first time, and so my character, like the one I interpret, is Saul, kind of comes up with this character called El Topo, in order to wrestle. And this must be the 4th or 5th time that he's trying different characters, and nothing works, nothing kind of puts it together. We came up with that idea, of like El Topo, let's call this guy the mole, and it's afterwards that he like kind of goes into, like incorporates an exotico persona that is incredibly flamboyant, and tries out through that character to find himself in the world of Lucha Libre, to find the character that connects with people, and it does.
And we'll talk about Saul's relationship with both his mother and his father. His relationship with his mother in particular is quite beautiful. But let's take a look. We have a clip of Cassandro's debut. So this is really a life and career changing moment, like a light bulb goes off as soon as Cassandro sees not only what he can do, but also the spectator's response to the performance.
Yeah, a lot changed. They were the participants of this kind of change of paradigm. Like the people started to Lucha Libre became a sport, a contact sport, and perhaps the only one that I can think of, and maybe like I'm here to be corrected wrong also, but I can't think of another contact sport that has openly gay athletes competing. So Lucha Libre, because of its theatrical nature as well, was able to not, to not sustain those like maybe sometimes superficial definitions of what is of sexuality or sexual orientation. It kind of like started to incorporate them with a much more easiness and flow and also caring for that as well. Taking everyone into consideration. So yeah, I'm after this movie, I'm even more proud of Lucha Libre and Lucha Libre in Mexico, because it's a great show.